Hey, what's up, YouTube fans? So the topic for this video, right, is why human ancestors adapt to bipedalism, right? So one of the major evolutionary changes that happened in the human lineage since splitting from our closest living relatives, which are the chimpanzees and bonobos, right? One of the major changes that happened in our lineage is that our ancestors became much better at moving on 2 feet, right, which is called moving bipedally. And this change towards bipedalism is responsible for a lot of the skeletal changes that happened in our lineage that make us have a very distinct skeleton, in some ways a very unique skeleton, right? Much of that is due to the transition towards bipedalism, right? And the transition to bipedalism is generally thought to have been the main catalyst behind many of the other later significant changes that happened in the human lineage, especially the cognitive changes towards higher intelligence, right? What were the adaptive reasons behind the transition to bipedalism? You know, it's debated amongst anthropologists. There are differing competing ideas. On this video, right, I wanted to share a few hypotheses on it that I personally would consider to be some of the best explanations in my opinion, right? And these explanations are not necessarily mutually exclusive. You know, they could potentially work together in conjunction with each other, right? But so in any event, one of the best explanations, in my opinion, right, as to what could have been an adaptive advantage towards walking bipedally, right, is that doing so could have made our ancestors look much more big and intimidating to predators that otherwise would have wanted to eat them, but then they would seem like more of a big, intimidating creature if they were to walk on 2 legs, right? And you know, there are many examples that we see in the animal kingdom of creatures evolving traits specifically because it makes them seem more intimidating to predators, right? And not actually in reality making them any more dangerous, but having the appearance of being in a type of way that would ward off predators, right? So, you know, some animals might like evolve more like long puffy hair or longer feathers because it might make them have a larger, more intimidating appearance that would ward off predators, right? Or they might evolve in some instances something that makes them appear like another living thing, which is poisonous and therefore deterring predators from eating them. So this is a common phenomenon in the animal kingdom, that animals will sometimes evolve traits specifically because it makes them seem more intimidating to predators, right? And so in any event, in our lineage, walking on 2 feet could have potentially have been a strategy that our ancestors began using so as to look more big and intimidating to predators, right? Because obviously, you know, a creature that walks on its hind legs is going to look more like a big creature, right? And so and then especially once our ancestors evolved much longer legs, you know, humans have especially long legs, much longer than chimps and bonobos. All the rest of living apes have longer arms than legs, whereas we have longer legs than arms. We have particularly long legs, you know, longer legs than any other primate, right? We're obviously taller than any other primate, and once our ancestors evolved longer legs, right, not only would that have helped them to have better balance when walking and running on 2 feet, but then that could have all the more made them have the appearance of being a big, intimidating creature, which could have helped to ward off predators, right? And then furthermore, this is what else I want to say, is that not only could walking on 2 feet make them have the appearance of being a more dangerous creature that you don't want to mess with, but then it even could potentially have made them actually legitimately more of a dangerous creature that you don't want to mess with, right? Because once they were walking on 2 feet more often and better at doing so, they could have like carried around differing like weapons, right? Like just like different branches or stones, whatever, that they could use as a weapon. And then they could like use that to help fight off predators, right? And that would be easier to do, carrying around a weapon, if they were walking on 2 feet, right? And not to mention that also they could potentially use those weapons in hunting down their own prey when they were the predators hunting down animals that they wanted to eat. They could potentially use different weapons that they carry around to do that, and spear another animal, and then like that's how they catch their prey, and that would be easier to do if they were walking on 2 feet, right? And also, additionally, it could allow them not just to carry weapons, but also to carry various things such as food, carry it long distances. And so, some members of the group could go out and hunt and catch, a big animal, and then they could carry it back to the rest of the group, which wouldn't really be something that they would as much be able to do if it was like a big animal. They wouldn't so much be able to do that if they were not walking on 2 feet yet, or as their primary way of getting around, right? So like chimpanzees, for example, they wouldn't be able to like catch something as big as like a deer and then like carry it back to their group to they most likely wouldn't be able to do that because they don't walk on 2 feet, right? So that's another potential large advantage that could come from moving on 2 feet. And so, yeah, these are not the only potential explanations. It's debated, but, in my opinion, I would consider these to be some of the best explanations. All right, that's all for now. See you guys.